What's up, y'all? We're back with day 8 of not smoking weed. And if you've been watching the other videos, you'll know that I have been smoking weed for roughly the last 30 years or so, going back to about 1995. That's a lot of bowls, if you know what I mean. So that's a lot of weed smoking, that's a lot of wasted money, that's a lot of wasted opportunities. However, though, I have decided that I'm not going to be a pothead anymore, and I'm going to take back control of my life, and I'm going to stop smoking weed. And we're going on day 8 right now, and I'm going to be honest, I feel a lot better. Overall, I would have to say I feel a lot better. I just feel more vibrant. I feel like my thoughts are more vibrant. I'm able to communicate better. I'm able to think of words quicker. I would say today I felt a little, I don't know, just a little depressed feeling, a little bored, didn't have a lot to do. Yeah, just feeling a little down. I didn't feel quite as positive as I did maybe the day before. But going back and smoking doesn't even sound good. Honestly, it doesn't even sound appealing. I don't think that would make me feel any better to smoke a bowl. I would honestly I would just be upset with myself, and I would feel worse. Not to mention, I would lose all my clarity. I'd be going back to mushy brain and not being able to put a thought together. So we're not going to be doing that. Like I said in the last video, I'm not bending the knee to a plant. It's just not going to happen. I am stronger than the plant. So, got my notes right here. Don't really have a lot written down. Like I said, not too much happened today. I still haven't really had any dreams other than that small little partial one from the night before where I was cosplaying as Bill the Butcher from Gangs of New York, who is a badass character, by the way. People think he's the bad guy in that movie, but is he really? Is he really? I don't know. He seemed like a patriotic American to me. He didn't want a bunch of immigrants coming in. Okay, that's a different video. We're not going to get into it. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody just now. Seems like every time I post one of these videos, I lose subscribers. So, that's okay though. I don't blame you guys. You're like, what is this channel? I don't know. I joined it because you made rap songs. And then maybe some people over here are like, I joined it because you talked about the shape of the earth. And then maybe other people over there are like, I joined it because you talk about politics. And now you're talking about quitting smoking weed. What is this? It's whatever I want it to be. Just like my life. It can be whatever I want it to be. Except the opposite sex. Oh, just lost some more people. I can feel them. I can just feel them unsubbing right now. There are only two genders. Only two genders. Real quick, guys, I'm just going to have to touch on this real quick. This has nothing to do with anything, but there's a major difference between gender and sex. I did a whole other video on it, but real quick, let me just touch on it. Okay, when you say there's only two genders, it's like you don't even know what the word means. Okay, I'm not for any of this crap. Just to let you know, I'm not like sticking up for gender. However, though, you got to know what the word actually means. There's biological sex, male and female. There's only two. Yeah, sure, there's intersex people that come around once every million people or whatever. But that's not, you can't classify a third sex because of people with a deformity. Because that's what, it's like saying that, some people might be born with 4 fingers. Some might have 6. Some little extra growth on there. We don't say that the human hand is on a spectrum. We say the human hand has 5 fingers. However, some people are born with a deformity that doesn't give them 5 fingers. So we don't change the whole anatomy because of a few people. Same thing with sex. We got male and female. Boom, that's it. Deal with it. However, gender is how you identify yourself to the world. Therefore, you could identify yourself as a cat, as a rock, as a tree. So when you say there's only 2 genders, you sound ignorant. And this goes out to Trump. He said the same thing. He doesn't understand what sex and gender is. Gender is just how you represent yourself to the world. Therefore, that can be anything. And you know what my response is to gender? Throw it out completely. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what your gender is or what you think your gender is. It only matters if you're a male or a female. All right, let's get back. Do I got anybody left? Is there anybody left out there? Oh, what's another thing that I've been noticing a lot more I've been noticing that I have been eating more. Like I want to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Before I was like the OMAD, the one meal a day. But I just feel like I'm so much more hungry without smoking, which is not good. I don't want to substitute one thing for another. I don't want to turn into a big fatty because I'm eating all the time because I'm not smoking weed, which sounds backwards. You would think that you would eat more when you're smoking, which is what I thought was going to happen. I thought I would be less hungry when I stopped. However, though, I'm more hungry. I had tacos tonight. Dang, they tasted so good. I could have ate 20 of them. I limited myself to 4. I only ate 4 tacos and then a whole bunch of nachos, but I could have ate like 20. Back in 2006, when I was on probation and I had to stop smoking weed while I was on probation because I had to do the thing that's called color code. And you have to, every day, you have to call into this number and you get assigned a color. And they'll announce the colors for the day. And if they call your color, you've got exactly like 24 hours to get to the drug testing place and you got to take a mandatory piss test. And I think I took a piss test about once a week is what it averaged out to. Sometimes it was twice a week, sometimes it was 0 times a week, but it ended up being about 1 time a week. And you had to come up with like $17 in cash every time. Yeah, I had to drive all the way across town to do it. It sucked. I hated it. So being on that, I could not smoke. There's no way I could have smoked having to call that thing every single day. It just wasn't worth it to me to blow my probation. My whole goal was to get off it as quick as possible so I could go back to smoking weed. That was my only goal. So, luckily I had a good lawyer and he got me off after about 6 months. I was supposed to be on it for a year. He got me off after 6 months. So that was cool. But during that time, that was a rough time. That was a really rough time. I pretty much substituted drinking alcohol for the smoking weed just just as a way to get effed up. Just as a way to get effed up. Because when you get busted, especially back in Kansas, it's like you had to jump through all these hoops. It's like you got to give out money to everybody. You got to give out money to the court. You got to give out money to your lawyer. You got to give out money to the drug testing people. You got to go get mandatory, what do you call it? Like rehab. You have to go to these like little rehab things. You got to pay those people. It's just like you got to make sure everybody gets their money when you get busted. That's pretty much what it boils down to. However, though, I had to go to these like little mandatory, like little rehab group meetings and stuff that just, I hated them so much and they hated me. They hated me. It was so dumb too. It's like, I'm like, what are we paying for here? I go in this room and we're all sitting in a circle in a little, folding metal chair and we all have to sit in a circle and like we're doing the talking. I'm like, couldn't at least somebody come in here and like teach us something? We're just all the ones talking. What am I paying for if we're the ones doing the talking? This is so stupid. I hated it so much. I hate NA meetings. I hate all those things. Okay. I feel like if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it on my own. I don't need to go hang around with a bunch of other people that are going through the same thing. Like, it's just not my thing. I just, dude, I mean, there would be so many things I'd rather be doing than driving across town, going to some stupid ass meeting. This is not my thing. Some people, that's their thing. They need all that. They need that support to help get through the tough times, but I didn't need that. I hated it. However, though, I almost got kicked out of that meeting because I went in there. It's like we had to go around the room and tell everybody how we were doing and everything. And I made the mistake of telling the group that I got drunk. I was like, oh, I drank a ton last night. I was so drunk and everything. And they got super mad at me. They're like, you're not supposed to be doing anything. I was like, well, I got busted for weed, not alcohol. They're like, it doesn't matter. You can't say that. I was like, oh, my bad. They're like, we're going to turn you in. We're like this close to like turning you into your probation officer and telling them that you're not doing, that you're getting drunk and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I won't do that anymore. So I was like skating on thin ice with those people. And then at another time, I don't know what we were talking about, but I started talking about how my favorite scene in The Terminator was when he went in and started shooting all them cops and he just blew away like 30 cops. I was like, oh my God, it was so cool. And I was like describing the scene to everybody in the group. They didn't like that either. They didn't think that was funny because I was so mad at authority figures at that time. Like I would fantasize about that Terminator scene when he went into that precinct and was just like wasting everybody. I was like, yes, F these cops. However, just to let you guys know, I'm not like that anymore. I give respect to the police. They have got an incredibly hard job. And without them, it would be total chaos. So I give all my respect to the police officers. I have grown up since then. I've realized that I was immature and stupid and I was doing the wrong thing. And they were doing the right thing. by trying to keep society safe from maniacs like me driving around smoking weed, getting crazy and stuff. So I do respect the police to the max. To the max. I mean, it's almost to the point now, if I get pulled over and get a ticket, I'm just like, man, thanks. Thanks for doing a good job. Give me my ticket. I'm going to go. Like, I don't give them no crap anymore because it doesn't get you anywhere. The first time I ever got arrested, I'll never forget it. We were so stupid. There was like 4 of us and we're sitting in a car right off a main road with the dome light on, smoking weed with like a bong. So people are like driving by, like they can see us. Like we're like right there. We thought we were all slick because we were like on the side of a building and stuff. We're like, oh dude, no one can see us over here. Next thing we know, we got 4 cop cars pulled up around us and we're getting arrested. Actually, we weren't getting arrested yet. They just had us all sitting on the curb until one of the dumbass people I was with, it was like, dude, why don't you go bust some real criminals? Why don't you go bust some real criminals? And he's like, okay, and now I'm taking you all to jail. Just because he said that. I was like, dude, you dumbass. I was so mad. I was so mad. If we just would have sat there, been honest, kissed their ass, we might have got off. But no. Stupid big mouth over here is talking about, why don't you go bust some real criminals? So, and that was it. That pissed him off, and we all went to jail. And I remember too, I was in that cell. I was so mad. Like I was coming down from the high. I was pissed off. I was kicking the door. Boom, boom, boom. Give me my phone call. Boom, boom, boom. I was just being the biggest asshole ever. And the cop comes over and he's like, hey, shut the hell up. He's like, you did the crime, do the time. And then just walked off. And I'm like, damn it. Give me my phone call. Just kicking the door like an asshole. And I remember looking out. And they had brought these like two drunk guys in from, they must have been in a bar fight or something. I don't know. But there was this little Mexican guy. He was like 5'2", and he's lipping off. I'm going to beat all your asses. I'm going to beat all your asses. He was obviously drunk. I am not kidding when I tell you like 20 cops came out of the woodwork. There were so many cops around this guy that they were like filling up the entire hallway. I couldn't even see the guy anymore because there were so many cops around him. And they basically usher this guy into the jail cell. And then as they're walking back, they're all giving each other high fives. I couldn't believe, I was like, you're giving yourself high fives? Because there's 20 of you and you put this 5'2" drunk guy into a cell and you got a high five over that? Like I said, I had a different opinion of police officers back in the day, especially ones in Olathe, Kansas. Total assholes. I had one cop there, he wrote me 10 tickets over 3 different instances. Every time he'd bust me, he'd give me like 3 or 4 tickets at a time. Even his partner was like, yeah, I can't stop him. Even my lawyer made fun of him. He's like, oh, I hate that guy. I hate that cop. Anyways, okay, we're not trying to get... But anyways, when I had to go through probation way back then, it was very difficult. And I did use alcohol as a crutch to get through it. I mean, I went straight to the hard stuff too. I would just get just straight drunk. But during other times, I had these Bach Rescue Pastilles. And these helped take the edge off. This is what I used back in 2006. And just the other day, I mean, these must have been in my medicine cabinet for the past 11 years. I didn't even realize it. They were sitting right up in the corner. I was like, yes, I've got some of these still. They're really good. They're like raspberries. Oh, shoot. That dang gravity. Just pulling things right towards the center. Yeah, but these are good. I like them. Natural stress relief. These help take the edge off just a tiny bit. Not really. I'm lying. I'm lying with that. But what they do is they give you something to put in your mouth, which is sometimes all it takes. So I've got these. I've got the calming drops. And I've got my inner strength. And you know what? That's all I need. That's all I need. I'm so ready to kick weed to the curb once and for all. I'm so ready. It doesn't even sound good right now, honestly. Honestly, it doesn't even sound good. So I really don't feel like I have a lot of temptations. And really, I don't care what happens. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I've already got 8 days under my belt. I'm not going back at this point. That's too good of a start. So I'm going to keep rocking and rolling, guys. I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to stay sober. And we'll see what happens.